Oh, fuck. And we are rolling, and we're back on this week's episode of The Broken. Should I do a twirl? No, I'm kidding. I'm going to end up hitting something. But this is not a message from the future because it is, it's only November 3rd, so we're fine. So everything, I zoom in a little so we can get close and personal. No, not that close and personal. Okay, maybe not that far either. There we go. And we are back. This is take 2 of the Broken Kid podcast. Yes, we are back. And today I wanted to talk about, I forgot what I was going to talk about. I take my anxiety medication and then I forget everything. I was going to talk about something, but I forgot what. Let me put the viewfinder back. I was going to talk about something. Yes, I was going to talk about the summer where I stole movie posters from the theater. Now you might be wondering, why would you do that? And my answer to that is, why wouldn't you? Because if you're not a lover of the cinema, then you won't understand this. That being said, I was pretty crazy because during that time, let's just say that I was playing with some grass, if you know what I mean. And when you're playing with grass, you become a little morally flexible. So this was the summer of the release of Deadpool and Wolverine, and I remember I was like, my God, I've been waiting for this because I heard the trailer. I remember when the pictures leaked of them being in the void. We all saw those pictures, and I was so excited. And everybody thought those were kind of fake. There was some people didn't know if they were fake or they were real. I didn't really know. Because honestly, leaked pictures don't always have context to them. It's very hard to assign context. That's why a lot of these virgin nerds, they're like, no, like with the new Spider-Man movie, there was a little clip of, it was either Tom Holland or his stunt double. He was doing a backflip onto a mattress, like a safety pad, and people were like, what could this mean? They think that he's going to be fighting like a scorpion, like the scorpion, the villain. Now, of course, he's going to... No one ever does a flip onto the ground to look like they're... in a way that they look like they're being tossed if it isn't because of somebody else that they're fighting. So we know that. But anyhow, during the release of this, everybody was going crazy because this was the picture that showed Wolverine, aka Hugh Jackman, wearing the yellow suit that everybody loved. And I remember thinking to myself, I think the pictures leaked in 2023, around 2023, and then we didn't start getting like promotional videos and official like trailers until 2024. And when that final trailer dropped, the one where people speculated that it was going to be Weapon X or X-23 that was going to show up, everybody went crazy. But I remember thinking to myself, it's going to be 2024, because in 2023 they announced it was going to be coming out in July of 2024. July 2026. I can tell because there's a bunch of posts. I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I have 4 posters that I stole. But in that summer, I ended up stealing like a few other ones because I remember I have the Blake Lively movie that came out alongside him, Ryan Reynolds' movie, and nobody. I saw that movie, and that movie made me want to like slice my wrist. But because a whole bunch of middle-aged women who probably voted for Trump saw that movie. I thought that movie was going to be a comedy or like a rom-com. I stepped into it, and it's about ass beatings being directed towards a woman. So you could imagine how disappointed I was. And by disappointed, I mean like, oh, this is not the happy movie I thought I was watching. And the trailer doesn't really give it away. The trailer looks so much like that new Colleen Hoover movie again, the Regretting You or Regretting It. People are regretting having watched that movie. Producers regret having signed on to that movie. Movie studios regret having made that movie under their name, movie studios. But I remember this was there was about a year after that they were gonna say they gave us a year of wait time, and I thought, oh my god, I don't know if I can wait that long. And I told myself, just wait, because it's probably gonna go by quicker than you think. And then the trailer dropped, and then there was theories before that. There was a trailer during the Super Bowl, I believe, but there was a lot of momentum going around this. And of course, I wanted to go see this. I even had plans to go see this with a girl that I had a crush on, and I tried asking her out like 3 or 4 times, and each time I got rejected because the universe was like getting in the way. And I think that now I look back and I think God was doing his job, or the world, because I'm an atheist. But the universe was doing its job of protecting me for one reason or another that I'll never know, and it's not my job to know. But I saw this movie like 30 times in the cinema, in the theater. And I remember it was probably about like a week after. There was a lot of buzz around this movie. It was so popular. And I remember I asked the front desk guy, like at the concessions where he does the tickets, not where they do the snacks, but where they do the tickets. And I asked him, hey, I was wondering if I could have that poster out in the back. And I have the poster. I haven't hung it up because I had to take it down because there's no more space for me. So I have to like orchestrate that. But it was a big poster. It was like 4 by 5. And I asked him, I was like, do you think I could have that poster when you guys are done with the movie if nobody gets it? And he was like, he didn't know what to say. But behind him was what I assume was the upper manager. He turns around like this, like a real villain, and he's all like, no. Those are not for you. Those are for the people that work here. You can't have them. The employees get first dibs. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. So I walk away. And I was like, could he not have been nicer to me? He could have been nicer to me, right? And I'm not going to say what state I live in or which city either. But I remember thinking to myself, okay, that's rude. And the more I sat on it, I was like, well, maybe I can steal him. Maybe I can steal him. And I decided to kind of like, I was like scouting and looking at it, and I was like, how easy would it be? Because it's in these big encasements, and there's like plastic. There's a plastic sheet, because there's no glass, obviously, because somebody like me could smash it. But it's got these like locking mechanisms where it goes like this. And when it goes like this, then you can open it. But I remember thinking about it, I was like, wow, I may not be the first one that's tried to steal it. Or maybe I am, because the edges were like pried and lifted. So I was like, I very discreetly went up to it like this. Like I was like, oh, this is so cool. And with my bottom hand, I was like this, trying to see the edge and seeing if I could move it towards me, and I could. So this is what I do. I go at around 6 o'clock. 6 a.m. I go there. And I told my mom, I was like, oh, after I stolen it, I told my mom, oh, I got it for free. No, I didn't. I eventually told her I stole it. But the funny thing is this. Look, so I go one time, and I think I don't think, the first time I went was to just see if I could even do it in the first place. Just to get a sense of what was there at the mall. Because this theater was next to a mall. And I wanted to see what was there. I wanted to see what was there and the people that were there and all this stuff. And I wanted to just see like the type of people that were there. I wanted to scout and get a sense of what's there at 6 a.m. So I go there and I'm like, okay, I leave because I just didn't want to, I just wanted to get a sense of it. So I leave, and the next day I come, and that's when I attack. So I take like a Swiss Army knife that has all those extensions. I stick it in there, and I pry it open. I pry it open, and I go like this, and then I pull the big door open. And then now I'm like, oh my god, now it's the moment. And there was like one other car from the back that was there, like in the back, way in the back parking lot. So I'm trying to take this poster off, and I take it off, and I realize that there's a plastic sheet on top of it, like a thin plastic film. I don't know why they do it. And I had to take that one off first, and then I could access the poster. So I take it off, and it kind of rips a little, but I didn't expect how big the poster was, so it kind of like flopped onto me. So I'm like, oh my god, it's on me now. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, ah! It was like being attacked by a big giant piece of poster. Now, the difference between a poster from the theater and a poster that you were to buy from, like, let's say, like a third party, or even like, yeah, because they don't really sell those posters, the theater. The difference is that they're thin. They're like see-through, so that when you put them up against the wall, because when you put them up against the frame, there's like lights on it, and it shines and it makes it look even cooler. But the whole thing fell on me, and I was like, oh god! And it had like a little tear from me trying to take it out. So I had to like I rolled it I folded it loosely in half, and then I rolled it. And it was like this big poster, and I had to like kind of like quickly walk to my car and put it in there, and I drove off. And I go to my work, and I'm like, guys, look what I stole, because they knew that's all I was talking about at work. And I show it to them, and it's a big ass poster. And I remember I was like, am I gonna go back there or am I not to that theater, because I still wanted to go watch it because it was a good movie. And keep in mind, at this time, I go back. I think it was that same day or either the next day. I go back and I'm just walking by there to see like what they had done, if they had closed it or if they had replaced it. I go back and my ego was so hurt because no one had done anything. The frame was still open. Nobody had done anything. There was just this big giant frame with no poster in there. And I really thought people were gonna like had closed it, or that there was gonna be people like looking. And I think they looked at the footage and they were like, "Oh my god, it's this guy." That the guy who intervened and told me no must have like seen who it was, because I later found out that I thought there were no cameras in that where I was stealing it from, like not in that area, but it turns out there was one like right over yonder and right over yonder. So that was pretty creepy. The second thing was this. I go back the third day, I think, and I was like, should I go back? Because I asked people, should I go or should I not? And I was kind of just like, should I or shouldn't I? And I take a chance. People told me that I should not, that I should wait a week. And I was like, I can't wait a week. I love this theater, which begs the question, why would I steal from it? But I walk and I make eye contact with the manager who told me no. And I kind of made this eye contact of like, do you know it's me? And he walked past me, and I had this energy kind of like, we were walking towards each other in the same line, and rather than just like pausing or moving out of his way, I made him move out of mine. And, like, I'm not scared. And it's so funny because at this, I ended up stealing like 5 other ones or 6 other ones. And a few, like 3 of them were like Deadpool related, and it was just so cool to have been able to take them. But the other thing is this. During that period, I saw one for my friend that was also the same size, like the 4x5. But I remember doing this. They have these like little radio transmitters that you can put on, and it allows you to transmit what the cinema is playing. So essentially, you can hear everything through these headphones through a radio, and you put it on the right channel, and it plays everything through the radio and the headphones. And I remember they don't ask for collateral, so I have 2 of these. And these are, they're like $120 each. So all you do is you go to the front desk, hey, can I have one? So I can, because I'm a little deaf. And they're like, yeah, sure. They don't ask for your ID or an iPhone, none of that. So I finish watching the movie and I take it and I leave. And I'm like, I want another one. So the next day I ask for one from a different person and I take it and I leave. And now I get to watch movies in the comfort of not being disturbed by having headphones. But the moral of the story is that when you do certain things, when you do drugs, you do stupid things. And I was playing with grass, if you know what I mean. So now that I don't do it, I look back at it and I think that I was really stupid. But yeah, it was a hell of a time.